David's got our back. Thanks, Jim. All right. Yeah, so that's just what I wanted to warn everybody about. It seems like the ecosystem is getting to a point where people are, starting to actually build dApps and write more than one line or a couple line programs with rholang or with RChain. And so I wanted to save you the 6 hours that I spent going crazy over that behavior of listen for data at name.
Oh yeah, because I think I saw this before and I thought, did I break my parser? What did I do? It must be my fault,
Is there a document on listen for data at name?
You just lived it, man. That's the document.
Well, yeah. I mean, this expression that comes back is very unintuitive, obviously, and of course the the code is law, right? The code is so this, that's the deploy data. The part, oh wait, so Joshy, if I do another deploy and query, I'm not sure it comes back. Oh, there it came back. Let's see. That's the deploy, creating a block.
I'm expecting, just so we can test my hypothesis, I'm expecting that you'll be told about all 3 of the sends that you've done on Rando channel at this point.
Okay. Yeah, looks like that happened. Let's see. Because this block info with tuple space, that must be the registry. Yeah, so I get several having fun traveling, and then I get this block info with tuple space that might be the insert registry contract. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Ed, you have enough skill definitely that with just studying the protos a little bit, you'll be able to fully understand what all that stuff is and parse it the way you want to parse it, I think.
Yeah, I didn't recall who asked the question, but this par grammar that comes back and what it may contain is the challenging part. So I had to write, a parser to look for this G string, having fun traveling, which is what I really cared about. And this number is a timestamp that I put in there so I could kind of trace things a little easier. So yeah, I had to reverse engineer what that looked like, and it's this. Let's see, where the heck is that thing? I'm looking for this parsing logic. Deploy service response.
Did you need to parse that, Joshy, to get it out?
You don't need to parse it. Like, you can print the whole thing. Like, Ed printed a big chunk of what comes back. If you're writing a real world dApp like he is, at some point you'll want to parse it so that your user only has to see like the part that they care about, not the whole data structure that wraps it.
Yeah. Success vector. Okay, I'm not finding it right away, but somewhere I'm parsing this thing. I'm all nervous and flustered.
I know. Oh no, don't be, man, for sure. Like, you're teaching everybody a bunch, so we're all patient to watch and see what you've done.
Actually, here it is. Okay. So this did work at one time, and I think it may work on the first and only post. But these are methods that are being constructed from the protobef in the Scala world, essentially. So there's block results, head, post block data, head, expers, head, get byte. Okay, so this much is parsing it.
Yeah.
What's the head exactly?
I think it's the first of it, the first element in the list. I'm not sure, actually, to be honest.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
Ed, what's the G in the get byte array? What does the G do?
I think it's a method that is the Google encoding of a byte array to make it protobuf friendly.
What I'm saying is, I know get byte array, but the G there, I don't know why there's a G there. That's my question.
Yeah, I think it's expression.scala, and I'm just trying to remember if that is that's an RChain specific thing that's being drug in here from the models package.
I would interpret the G as Google.
Well, but yeah, it's coming from this expression.scala that's in our source code.
Oh.
And so it's generated from it. Oh, here it's generated from the protobufs. I apologize, but it's being generated from the protobuf, or let's see, Scala PB compiler, or it's then turning around and calling proto C, I think, or whatever. But anyway, this is a set of generated classes that are coming out of the architecture I'm using to deal with protobuf.
A tangible takeaway there is that when you're communicating with the node over these protobufs, all of the primitive types they have that G in there. So they're like G int, G string, G URI, G byte.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Everything you said is still correct. I think of it as here I am, an end user trying to build something. This is what I can take away from it.
Okay. Yeah, and so this is a very challenging path for app developers, for web developers who aren't used to this kind of work versus JSON.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is where I am.
That's cool. Yeah, Ed, I think you should be really proud of yourself, man. I'm impressed with what you built there, for sure.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing.
Sure.
So, let's see. Do we want to give the screen share over to Jeremy to show us the rholang he was working on the other night?
Yeah, I can totally do that. Let's see if I can take it over.
By the way, welcome, Udo.
What do I want?
So what I've been thinking about is a recursive map to manage your URIs, basically your own namespaces. And this is really the DID database, where in this mapping that we make of what we have access to is a DID directory, decentralized identifier. And the decentralized identifier is composed of the path down the hierarchy of maps.
So let me be sure I'm with you, Jim. You're saying like you look up some key in a map, it might just give you a URI back, or especially if you're close to the root, it gives you back another map, and then you look up some key there, and eventually, as you recurse through these nested maps, finally at some point you end up with a URI.
Right, you have a file path, basically.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good way to think of it. Yeah. That's cool. So Jeremy, is that related to this, or this is a separate thing?
So I'm trying to wrap up this week with some exercises to help support your tutorial. And
nice.
One of the things I kind of wanted to go into, like briefly, is and actually you kind of worded it best with syntax sugar. So I want to just give people like a brief intro of like what if you actually do want to use an if statement, just to understand what it'll look like. So that's when I asked you before if I can just do the and, because initially I did, let's see here, this, and it wouldn't run.
Jeremy,
You.
don't you want this to be a persistent receive?
No. It's like for the sake of it, I only just wanted to only just accept it once. So I kind of was piggybacking off of Joshy's launch sequence. And so what I wanted to do is just have like half stop. So it only just listens once. But the whole premise of this exercise is just to understand what it's like if you actually want to use the if before later on in the exercises we go into the matching. So it kind of just to like teach people like both ways. Like here's what it'll look like if you just use if else, and here's what it'll look like to just use the matching feature.
Nice.
And
All
that's
right.
it.
So give us a go. So this is your first attempt, and since then you fixed it up, right?
Yeah, so when I first ran it, I mean, this probably won't really give me much, but an error. But when I first ran it, it couldn't do it. So I was like, all right, well, let's go to the next step. So that's when you said to type in and.
Yeah.
And so when we run it, so yeah, here's what I got. So this is where I was stumped, and this is again like another new. I have to keep reiterating. I'm like, what do you mean by name variable? So that's why I was like, oh, because you're sending it down here. Therefore, when you have to essentially convert it back into a process, and so that's why I was like, oh, let me just add the asterisk here.
Nice.
And I don't know, like just like that little noob mistake where I was like, oh, so I figure I'm gonna change this exercise up to just have them fix it, and then just at the bottom just break down exactly why it didn't work. Because if I was able to get stumped on that, I'm pretty sure someone else might. And yeah, that's where I was just getting at with that, just something simple. But I'm curious to know, and I highly doubt it, but you can't do if else in rholang, can you? Or maybe just like if, then like another if. You're muted.
Yeah, you totally can. So you've got the if else here already, right? Mm-hmm. If you wanted to do another if, that just goes inside your else block.
Oh.
So when you have an else block, it means X wasn't stop and Y stop. So now you can do another if whatever.
Oh, okay. So here, let's play around with this. If, let's just say, well, there's gonna be like a lot of variables. But I can always just say like if F else or if equals go. Okay, that makes sense.
Just do one for us. We're all learning here. I don't think we have anything else to talk about. So
sure. Let's see here. Let's just say if X equals, let's just say go.
So if you want to add another conditional, do you do that inside the new if statement, or it should fall back to the parent else statement?
David, your question was, can you say the question again?
Okay, what I'm saying is if you want to do another conditional, another if statement, does it go inside the new if statement or inside the parent else statement?
Those are both valid depending on what your logic is. When you put one inside of an else statement, that means that the previous condition has already failed, has already been false.
All right, cool. So you essentially, wow, all right, so that's how it works in here. So you just keep stepping down into the ifs, like all the different variables. All right.
Those are, yeah, every time you go inside the nested, the else there, that's like, most languages have a nice syntax for this, like else if, or in Python, it's
Yeah.
just spelled elif, it's a single key word. So when you put it inside the else, that means it's kind of like an and condition. It's like we're not going to bother checking that unless the previous if condition has already shown to be false.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's also valid to put like another if rather than going inside the else like I suggested you do on line 12. It's also possible to start another if on line 19, but it just means something different then. If you started on line 19 without nesting it, then you're going to run that second if regardless of whether the first if was true or false.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, David, David, does that start to answer your question?
Yeah, that's clear. Yeah.
Nice, cool. Awesome.
All right, cool. Yeah, I could definitely keep fooling around with this just to get the concept across, because I remember a while ago I asked the pub chain about how would it go, and I guess Mike Stage showed me the matching, which it took me a while to get the hang of, because it was like match, and then it was like this and this or something like that, and it like
that's what that's what Ed was showing too earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Should we work with some of those? So there's two different kinds of Boolean things that you can do in rholang, and I agree that makes it a little bit confusing to learn. So the ones you've done here on line 8 and 12, those are your regular Boolean operators. Those take true and false as operands, and they combine them. So
yeah,
like,
I did. I'm about to send you an Atom invite real quick. Sorry.
What was that?
I'm about to send you an Atom invite.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, we can jump in and code together. Good idea. Then the other kind of Boolean thing that we have in rholang is the one that Ed was using earlier, which are the logical connectives, and those are used only in patterns. So if you have Booleans like true and false, you want to use AND, OR, etc. But for patterns, then we have to use those logical connectives that are the like the slash backslash or the backslash slash kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to like learn myself.
So let's check Jordy's cheat sheet.
Yeah, the cheat sheet has those. Yeah, that's true. I think I might have actually forgotten to put the regular Boolean ones, the AND OR ones, on the cheat sheet. That was a rookie mistake. All right, Jeremy, you invited me to come in here. You invited all of us to come in and edit there with you, right?
Yep.
Let's give it a go. I'm booting up Adam. Join a portal. Let's see.
There you go.
My error says failed to join portal, but you said there you go, and I see your code, so I'm going to say it worked. Can you see me editing?
Yep.
Okay, nice. Cool. All right, well, what should we do? Are there things we should work on in here? Let's do this. We could clarify who said go and stop. So here we had X said launch. Then to do, I'll let someone else finish this up. In here we can, finally, this is the case where both people said we're clear for launch, right? So what would my conditions be like? I don't know if Jim or Jeremy, maybe when you guys want to finish filling this stuff in for when we can say only Y said launch.
Oh, so I mean, essentially so I'm just gonna make this easier. Copy this. Oops. Now, curious question. Even though this is like the long like way of doing the else or if else, I think maybe after this, if I can open up a new tab, can we go into like the matching and how to use that syntax as well? Like where we can just essentially like take everything that we did here, then put it in like a matching.
Sure. Yeah, that's a great idea. Let's try that.
All right, do you see the matching tab?
Good question. No, I don't. Maybe I just need to rejoin the portal. Okay, that time it failed and it looked more serious. All right, let me try again. Let me reboot it. But even if I can't get in there, that's okay. You can do it for us.
Mm-hmm.
So the if is replaced with a match, right?
So actually, wait, what? Give me 1 second here.
Yeah.
I'm getting bugs on my end here. Let's try this.
You close the portal.
Yeah, let's see. Like, do you have to keep recreating it for each tab, or whether or not? Because I was under the impression that it does it for everyone, or we can just see like everything on the screen instead of just like that specific file.
I automatically switched to the new file.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Huh.
Match.
Oh, so it was probably a problem on my end then.
All right, I see that you're in now.
Yeah, anyway, I'm in now. I bet everybody else can too. So real quick before we start making this into a match, I'm sure you would have easily found this, but a couple little things that we're missing here. Now that looks good. Okay, cool. So you want to do this into a match, right?
Yeah, because I think, or a while ago when I saw Mike say, apparently you can have like match and like different like variables.
Yeah,
So
totally.
that's why I was like wondering if you could do like a nested match, or it has to be specific only to what you requested.
Yeah, you can do a nested match. The beauty though is in this case we don't have to get nested. That's what makes match really nice, because these ifs are really deeply like by the time we get to line 20, we're like 4 or 5 tabs in. Match we don't have to do that. So let's give it a go here. I'll start it and then I'll let you guys finish it. So what we're going to do, first of all, the syntax is match and then, whatever. And then I guess we can just comment that. So then what we do is we all these different things that whatever might be, we put here. So like if whatever is 4, then we're going to do something. Or if whatever is hello, then we'll do something else. But the beauty is these don't have to just be primitive values here, like a string or an integer. They can be whole patterns. So we could say like, for example, if whatever is a send, so if this matches the pattern of on some channel send something, then we'll do whoops. Yeah, go ahead. Did someone have a question there?
Can we make this double? Like, can we make the matching for 2 items, just like we have X and Y now, so we can say if 4 and 5 equal this?
Yeah, okay, right. So great question, David. Your question is, I've acted like my whatever is just a single thing, right? But in this case,
Yeah.
really, we have 2 different variables that we care about. And so here's the brilliant step. The whatever that we're going to match is going to be a list. So we want to match this list of XY to a couple different things. And then so like, for example, one of the things we might match it to would be go, go. And in that case, then we want to like print, I don't know, let's launch, or I forget what, we're clear for launch. There we go. So I'm going to definitely leave it up to you guys from here. I think I've coded enough of that.
Okay, and so this happens in the order at which it was set, right? It doesn't happen. It follows the order at which it was set, which means the first one is for X and the second is for Y.
Yeah, exactly. A list is an ordered data structure, so the order is preserved here. Yep.
Okay.
So Joshy, I have a question. Now,
Yeah.
let's say I want X to fall within a range of values, like 5 to 15. So can I do that?
I don't think we have that implemented yet. I think you're going to need to combine an if there. So if you have a bunch of match cases, you can still use the match, but then you can define some helper contract like, well, I'll go back to where I can code here. Let's see. We might be able to do something like this contract is in range, and then it takes in some, well, let's just say X in this case, and it takes in a return channel, and then we do this. We do like if X less than 15 and X greater than or equal to 5, then in this case we want to return true, else return false. So now that we've got this helper, then what we can match is, well, we'd have to do something like this. We'd have to call that helper there. We'd have to do like new X is valid. Yeah, so it's getting a little more complicated than we might have wanted. So I'll show how this might work so you can think about it, and then it's up to you if we want to continue to run with this. So what we would do here is we would send, we would call is in range. The thing we want to check whether it's in range is X, and then we want to get the answer back on X is valid. So now that we finally have that, then we can match X is valid with the case of true.
Joshy, line 18, is that a send?
Yeah, thank you. So the history here, Vishwak, is there is. I'm not screen sharing right now, but there's this file in the RChain repo. It's called like mercury.cf. It's the grammar for Mercury.
Okay.
I can pull
And
that
there's
up
this.
real quick.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. That would be cool. There's this line in there that basically says like we want to implement some syntax where the pattern is actually the kind of pattern that I've shown on line 21. But then there's also, you can put predicates on there, like the first thing equals the second thing, or the first thing is less than 15 or whatever. It's not implemented yet though. So in the meantime, we're stuck with writing these helper contracts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Cool. All right. So Jeremy, you can rip out however much of that you want to finish showing what you were. Yeah, here we go. Just control F for like the word tricky. TRI. Yeah, exactly. Whoops, did it come up? Oh, yeah. Yeah, there you go. So line 98 is the syntax you're looking for.
What document is this? Okay.
It's buried deep inside the
I just sent it in
repo.
the chat.
Nice, thank you, Jeremy. All right, cool. So do you want to finish implementing your rocket launch as pattern matches?
Yeah, I'd give it a go. Mind if I?
Yeah, I'd say rip out that stuff that I did about is valid. I'm glad we talked about it, but it's more than we have time to code right now.
Oops. Wait.
Yeah, that looks good. And so then you've just got a couple more cases you want to put inside that match.
And so this was, so we got the match. And this is also where we keep adding conditionals. So I would say,
Yeah. So now all you have to do is put the next list. Yeah, perfect, dude. Yeah, this looks good.
oh, okay. So now I think I see what we're talking about. You just keep going like that. So when we execute this, it'll follow one of these patterns. And okay.
Bingo. So I have to run real soon because I have another meeting, but I want to give you something to think about in the meantime. Imagine if what people send is this. Look, scroll down a little bit. So we've acted all along like the two valid messages that can be sent are go and stop, but it's possible that either by accident or because they're malicious, someone may send something other than go or stop. So with pattern matching, there's this final thing we can do. I'll just give you some notes here. More cases here. And then the final thing you can do is this. This is the default case. And that means if none of your other patterns have matched, then we're going to run this one that I just typed onto line 14. So that's where you could like realistically handle someone sending in garbage input.
That totally makes a lot of sense now. All right, cool. Thanks.
All right, so I'm gonna run out. If you guys keep working, that's awesome, and if not, that's awesome. As always, I want to thank you for coming to the office hours because I love doing these, and it wouldn't be possible without you guys. So I will see you next time around.
All right, take care, man.
Thanks, Joshy. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
All right, guys.
Bye, David. Yeah, I didn't know you had a cat.
2 dogs, 2 cats. I don't know.
Also, Jim, do you want to try to do the bootstrap later on today? Actually, I don't think we should bootstrap just yet.
Yeah, they got to have a stable release. I think today I was just going to try Joshy's working version, see if we can get the registry to work, and
yeah, I think the last one was that actually worked because I was working with Kelly Tuesday. And the thing, so we was able to do the Genesis, or no, we weren't able to do the Genesis. And then when we tried to bond, we was able to guarantee on the first block. But then every time I went to propose after we bonded, like it wasn't actually distributing against or with like in the network.
Yeah, I definitely probably don't want to bond until after someone else has succeeded with the new version.
There's
different versions that work, but
I mean, you can use the older versions that still works.
Right. I guess what I'm concerned about now is having the registry work properly, and I want to install Joshy's working version, get that going, and I want to work on the DID directory. Basically, the recursive map for the directory. Essentially, there's a lot of design decisions. I mean, to make it just a regular DID directory, we need to have a JSON object that contains the data. And I'm not sure how well that's going to work, but certainly
But let's see. I'm gonna close out of this screen. So you guys still gonna work on getting everything else set up at 2 today?
2 today, yeah, it's the social ledger meeting.
Sweet.
I added DB shards to the RChain social ledger this morning.
Oh, nice. I think we're are we meeting up tomorrow? Yeah, we have our happy hour tomorrow. If you want to come.
What time is that?
It's at 7, somewhere around there.
And where is it going to be?
St. Pete at Green Bench.
Green Bench.
That's where we went after the meetup. The brewery is like next door.
I'll have to look it up. I don't know. But, I might come. I don't know. Am I going to have a car tomorrow, huh? What are you kidding me?
Oh, a chicken nugget. Oh.
I've got promises before. I want more than that.
Well, I'd like to come. I think, is this going to be a TV Shards meetup or?
It's gonna be like I think it's gonna be a general meetup. Like I believe Chris Williams gonna be out, and I'll be there. Obviously, Pat Alberto.
All right. Yeah, I think that would be good. See if we can get on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
Greg tells me that they well, I don't know what I'm supposed to say, but there are a couple of efforts related to Xbox out there.
Oh, nice.
Of course, I have no idea what that means in terms of what we're doing. I guess I should find out before tomorrow night.
True. But all right, well, I gotta skedaddle out. I'm gonna keep building up these exercises and probably go to my coffee shop, chillax. So I will talk to you guys later.
All right.
All right, guys.
All right, take care.
All right.